saga continues. We've had up the squirrel door for months and it hasn't been doing anything because we discovered that we have a hole in the cement of our foundation and that's where the squirrels are getting in. So we had a professional come and help us out. And what he told us is that our house was done incorrectly. You can see right here that the siding is touching the ground. Code in Michigan is that the siding has to be 6 inches from the ground. And so the reason for that is because you can kind of, you can kind of see where it's bent in. Siding just isn't meant to go to the ground. It's not as structurally sound as just having plain cement is there. It's more likely that things can get up and inside of your siding. So that's what we're going to show you today. We're going to fix the siding on that side of the house where we're having an issue with it. We aren't going to fix anything else. We figure why fix it if it's not broken. And we're going to put it basically to code. It might not be quite 6 inches, but that's what we're going to show you today.
Is how to fix siding that's touching the ground.
Okay, so this is our project. You can see this is the last layer of siding that was touching the ground. It was connected before, and so we already took that off. And so now what we're going to do, first of all, you have your studs. You see the wood right here. So these studs we have to cut. That's also something that's code, is that there shouldn't be any wood touching the ground. So our very first step is going to be measuring everything. Part of what makes siding, vinyl siding, work well is that it has to be perfect because it hooks in. You can see right here where this siding hooks into the siding below it. And so if it isn't measured exactly perfectly, the siding won't fit very well, and that makes it not very structurally sound. So now let's go ahead and start measuring.
So these represent the wood that we just show you that they're sticking out. Right now, imagine that pretend that this is the floor and this is the wood that's coming out. The way that we want to finish it is once we cut these studs, there's gonna be a hole that is gonna be between the siding and the wall. There will be a hole. So we're gonna put this wood to seal it. So once we cut it, we'll have this situation with the wood and the stud, and then we're gonna put this, which is a siding starter. We want this to be flush with this, so it's gonna look something like this. Then it's gonna attach to the stud right here. You're gonna have some kind of bolt or nail, and then once that's on place, we'll come with the siding and then we'll hook it in here. So that's how it's gonna look. And the way that this works, so the starter has this slot, and then the siding has this lip right here. So the way that it works is it just goes into the lip like that, and then that's how it hooks. So the thickness of our wood is, as you can see, 3/4 of an inch. So that's how much higher from where the sliding is flush. That's how much we want to go up with those studs. So what we'll do is we'll mark it where it comes to be flush with the wood, and then we'll go 3/4 of an inch higher from that point. So now that we mark it, we are ready to start cutting. Now that we finished cutting the wood, what you want to do next is expose as much of the foundation as we can, so we can make sure that we can put the necessary protection to protect it from the weather.
Our next step is to seal the foundation. So this is our coating, and we're basically just going to paint it onto the foundation. Just so you know, just a tip, we found this in like the roofing section, and some of the ones that said they were foundation specific were really expensive, but we found one that was pretty cheap. Okay, now we're going to start applying the tar. So we're going to use just a little roller, and since this is a foundation, it suggests putting 2 layers of tar. Okay, so I finished putting on the first coat of the asphalt paint stuff. I didn't go all the way to the ground. I got like as close as I could, but I wanted to make sure that the paint didn't get really dirty, because then it just isn't as effective. So I got as close as I could without getting the paint dirty. Now that we've let this dry for a few hours, we're going to do a second coat. It recommended on the paint can that for foundations you do a second coat so that it is more weather resistant. Foundation goes through a lot.
We will be applying a coat of paint to the wood to make sure that it's protected against the weather. The best is to use wood that has been treated for exterior use, but if you're not able to get this wood, at least make sure you apply a coat of paint to help it resist the elements.
So here we are done with the pieces of wood. As you can see, we were able to paint them all through with the sealer paint. Now we are ready to put them on the side of the house.
Finally, goodbye and good riddance, squirrels. We are going to put just a little bit of metal. Actually, this was the whole reason we even started this project, was to have the squirrels stop getting into our house through this massive hole we have. So we're going to put 2 pieces of metal. This is just like a thin mesh, and this is thicker metal. We're going to put both in front of that. The benefit of doing this rather than just filling it up with cement is that the foundation can still breathe. We have no access to our crawl space, which I don't think even our 1-year-old would fit through this little tiny hole. Not that we would send him in there. And we're going to shut off that hole. And that's why we decided to not put cement. We're just going to put metal. So first of all, we're going to be putting some screws. So I'm going to drill into the cement. Even with all of my weight, that was hard to get deep enough in. Just so you know, a good trick, because you don't want it to be longer than the plastic piece you're putting in. Mark it with a little bit of tape, and that way you won't drill in too deep. Okay,
now to just make 3 more of those holes. And now what we're going to do is put this wood kind of horizontal above the side, like right above the siding, right? And that will seal off anything that could maybe like get up underneath the siding. And we're going to connect it with these 2-inch roofing nails. We've now attached the piece of wood all the way across. Our next step is to add a starter strip of siding. And so basically the starter strip, you connect it into the studs with nails. You need to make sure that the starter strip is nailed in a little bit loose so that it can expand and contract. Okay, so our starter strip is right here. It's connected to the wood, and that way, once we hook in the siding, nothing should be able to get inside of our house.
So now the only thing that you need to do is, as we showed before, make sure that the lip of the siding goes inside the groove of the starter strip. Okay.
When we tried hooking it in, it was really hard. We couldn't get it. So if you're having a hard time hooking in the siding, just go to a different part and see if you can get it hooked in there. And then it makes it easier to hook it in everywhere else. And we discovered the starter strip, because you put it on a little bit loose, if you pull it out just a little bit, you can get the starter strip and the siding to meet up a little bit easier. And I mean, we pulled it out just like this much, but it still helps a lot. This side is all connected now. It's connected to the starter strip, and it's done. And now we have the rest of this to go. So that's the end of our project. The siding is flush against the house. The only thing that we need to do is put the dirt back, and we want to make sure that we have a little bit of a grade going away from the house, so the water will, instead of going towards the foundation, will go away from the foundation. Thank you for watching, and please like and subscribe. Copper men! Muy bien.